Here's a surprising fact. In the United States, someone suffers a stroke every 40 seconds. Even worse, a person dies from a stroke every 3.5 minutes. These statistics, straight from the CDC's 2023 report, highlight a serious health crisis that isn't getting the attention it should. What's even more alarming, most strokes can be prevented. High blood pressure, or hypertension, is the leading cause of strokes. About 80% of strokes in the US are directly linked to this condition. Just think about that for a moment. Another important point, strokes don't just affect older adults. While people over 65 are more at risk, strokes are increasingly happening to younger adults, even those in their 30s and 40s. About 10% of stroke victims in the US are under 45, which is a growing concern for health experts. The truth is that strokes are life-changing. A stroke can leave you paralyzed, cause speech difficulties, or even impact your memory and thinking skills. And for many, it's deadly. The scariest part? High blood pressure, the main cause, often has no symptoms. This means millions of Americans could have it and not even know. The dangerous link between high blood pressure and strokes. Think of your blood vessels like highways. When your blood pressure is normal, traffic flows smoothly. But with high blood pressure, it's like speeding on damaged, narrow roads. Over time, this constant pressure weakens the walls of your arteries, making them more likely to tear. Here's where things get risky. Those tears attract blood cells, forming clots. If a clot forms and travels to your brain, it can block the flow of oxygen-rich blood to your brain cells. And that, my friend, is how a stroke happens. In the US, about 87% of strokes are ischemic, meaning they're caused by blockages or clots. High blood pressure is a major cause because it forces your heart to work harder, increasing the risk of artery damage. It can also make the arteries weaker, leading to hemorrhagic strokes when they burst. The takeaway is simple. High blood pressure isn't something to ignore. Over time, it damages your body in ways you might not notice right away. But when a stroke hits, the effects are sudden and serious. It's not just bad for your heart, it's dangerous for your brain too. Preventing strokes. Lifestyle changes. Here's the good news. Up to 80% of strokes can be prevented by making lifestyle changes. That's right, 8 out of 10 strokes can be avoided. And you don't need to do anything extreme. A few small changes to your daily habits can reduce your risk by a lot. Let's start with diet. The typical American diet is filled with processed foods and too much salt, which contributes to high blood pressure. Cutting down on these is a great way to prevent strokes. Focus on eating whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. The Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, nuts, fish, and fresh produce, has been proven to lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of stroke. Exercise is another key factor. The American Heart Association suggests at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity each week. That's just 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Walking, cycling, or swimming, anything that gets your heart rate up, will help lower your blood pressure and keep your arteries healthy. Lastly, managing stress is essential. Long-term stress can raise your blood pressure and increase your stroke risk. Find ways to relax, like meditation, yoga, or simply taking time for yourself. Dietary changes to prevent strokes. Let's talk about some foods that can help lower your risk of stroke, starting with green tea. It might not be everyone's favorite, but here's something to think about. A study in the US found that people who regularly drank green tea had a 20% lower risk of stroke. It's full of antioxidants that protect your blood vessels and lower blood pressure. Another important food is fatty fish, like salmon and mackerel. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which help prevent blood clots and keep your arteries healthy. Omega-3s reduce inflammation and improve blood flow. If you don't like fish, you can still get omega-3s from flax seeds and chia seeds. These are easy to add to your diet. Just sprinkle them on your oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or mix them into yogurt. And here's something you might not expect: dark chocolate. Yes, in moderation, dark chocolate has been shown to improve circulation and lower blood pressure. Just make sure it's at least 70% cocoa to get the health benefits. Potassium, the secret ingredient for stroke prevention. Let's talk about potassium. a mineral that's crucial for controlling blood pressure, but many people don't get enough of it. Potassium helps balance the effects of sodium in your body, which is key to preventing high blood pressure. Studies show that increasing your potassium intake can lower your stroke risk by up to 27%. The best part? Potassium is easy to find in everyday foods. Bananas are well known, but sweet potatoes, spinach, and beans are also great sources. 1 cup of cooked spinach provides over 800 milligrams of potassium, and a medium sweet potato has around 540 milligrams. Other potassium-rich foods include oranges, tomatoes, and avocados. A single avocado has about 975 milligrams of potassium, making it one of the best sources. Dairy products like milk and yogurt are also high in potassium. Most people only get about half of the recommended daily intake of 4,700 milligrams of potassium. By adding more of these foods to your diet, you can lower your blood pressure and reduce your stroke risk. Cutting down sodium for stroke prevention. Now let's talk about sodium, the hidden danger in the American diet. The average American consumes over 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily, far more than the recommended limit of 2,300 milligrams. This extra sodium is a big factor in high blood pressure and strokes. When you eat too much salt, your body holds onto extra water to dilute the sodium. This increases the volume of blood in your arteries, which raises blood pressure. Over time, this strains your heart and damages your blood vessels, increasing your risk of stroke. Most of the sodium we eat isn't from the salt shaker, it's hidden in processed and restaurant foods. Canned soups, frozen meals, deli meats, and fast food are some of the worst offenders. For example, a single slice of pizza can have up to 700 milligrams of sodium. Cutting down on these foods and cooking more at home can make a big difference. Use fresh ingredients and flavor your meals with herbs and spices instead of salt. It's a simple change that can greatly improve your health. Practical tips for preventing strokes. To wrap things up, here are some practical steps you can take right now to lower your stroke risk. First, if you smoke, quitting is a must. Smoking damages your blood vessels and raises your risk of both heart disease and stroke. Second, make regular exercise a part of your life. You don't need to spend hours at the gym. Just 30 minutes of brisk walking on most days can help control your blood pressure and reduce stroke risk. And don't forget about managing stress. Long-term stress can seriously affect your health by raising your blood pressure. Take time for yourself, whether it's through meditation, yoga, or simply enjoying a peaceful walk outside. By making these simple changes, you can take control of your health and significantly lower your risk of stroke. Remember, it's never too late to start caring for your body. Your lifestyle choices matter, and with the right habits, you can protect yourself from stroke and live a healthier life. Don't wait for a health scare. Start making changes today, and your future self will be grateful.